Hey you guys, welcome back. Today we are going to transplant this poor little dendrobium. I believe it's a Dendrobium Phalaenopsis. I'll show you a photo of when it was in bloom so that you can remember which one it is. I'm sure you remember. It's on my bathroom window ledge, and it bloomed in the spring, early spring. I guess winter, because it's just spring now, and it was a few months ago. So I guess winter. I'm a liar, and it's just been surviving, doing its own thing, and it's not doing so well. It's in a teeny little pot, and it's kind of off to the side. As you can see, the roots aren't really doing very much. It's not a happy little camper. So we want to give it a new little home. I'm not going up very big with the pot size. I believe this is a 3-inch pot. Yeah, it's a 3-inch pot. So it's got a lot of ventilation. It's a good little pot for this small little orchid, and hopefully it will outgrow this pot in a year, and then we'll pot it up into something a little bit bigger. So yeah, it's been a good one. This is one that I rescued a long time ago, and it was just a little. I don't even want to say it was a keiki. There was no roots on it, but we'll use keiki. It just like a little piece had broken off, and it was being. A pot was sitting on it, and I moved a pot, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, poor little thing, let's try to grow it. So it is rewarding me with some growth, and it's taken many years to get to this point, but it was well worth the journey, especially since the flower color is so beautiful. It's like a purple. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss is my friend in my house. And then I'm also going to use a fine bark mix. This has a mix of perlite, vermiculite, charcoal, and fine fir bark. So I'm going to use the mix, and I'm going to bring you down a little bit closer. Might as well look at what we're doing rather than just look at me looking down. Anyway, come on down. Okay, so I'm just going to take a handful of this bark mix. I don't need very much because this pot is really small. I'm going to take some of this pre-moistened moss. I'm going to break it up a little bit. It doesn't need to be in really long fibers. Long fibers is okay. It's not necessary. Just going to mix it up a little bit. Want to have the bark mixed in so that it's not just a layer of moss and then just a layer of bark. I want to have good airflow throughout this mix. Got to be careful when it comes to dendrobiums. A lot of dendrobiums require a dry period. So if you're using sphagnum moss with dendrobiums, it's not really a highly recommended thing. They would really probably prefer to have just a bark mix. But I am such a lazy waterer that I'm always fearful that I'm not going to water enough. So if it gives it a couple extra days, I'm okay with that. I monitor my watering really good. Yeah. So if you're a heavy waterer, just go with a nice bark mix. So I was able to pull that out. This has been potted in this pot for a couple of years now, so the mix is kind of broken down now. And it was in moss as well as bark, kind of similar to what we're using right now. Let's just remove all of the stuff from the roots, and we can remove any of the gross dead roots. There's really not a lot. This is where the plant originally, let me see if I can get this on camera. This is it's hard to get in there. This is the original pseudo bulb or pseudo stem. And it's not looking so good, but it's many years old, and it's green at the bottom, but the roots down below are not there. They're just dead. So I'm just going to remove the roots from this particular area. That's all. Just remember to sterilize your scissors prior to removing the roots. You don't want the anything that might be on the scissors to go into the plant and cause problems. So with this one, I think I put too much mix in here to start. I want to work around the roots. I wasn't anticipating the roots being as long as they are. They're really beautiful. So I want to, instead of having my plant off to the side like it was, I'm going to be putting it so that it's kind of up and down. And I want it to be right at the top of the pot. Can you see the, this is where the new roots are coming from. I want that to be at the top of the soil level. I don't care if the old pseudobulbs are a little bit under. They'll probably die anyway. I want to keep the newest ones higher up. That's really promising that this new growth had all the roots growing downwards. I thought that they were all growing out to the side. There is hope. Alright. Because this is a nice mix of moss and bark, just make sure that you're getting just as much bark as you are moss if you're going to go with this method. Again, if you're a waterer, if you like to water, then just go with the bark mix. Your plant will thank you. Everybody has different growing styles, so it's hard to tell people when to water. There's a guideline. You want to let it just kind of dry out between waterings. And then in the wintertime, some of these, like I said, require a dry period where you're not going to water it basically at all, just a little bit of misting to the roots. And that's what promotes the flowering. If you are to water the ones that need a dry period during their dormancy period, then you will just get cakey growth. So you get a lot of babies rather than flowers. So if you want babies, don't worry about it. But if you want to have flowers, you just need to watch your care. So anyway, this is the little Dendrobium Phalaenopsis, and it is now repotted. It looks so much better in its new little home. I'm going to bring the camera up a little bit, and so you can see what it looks like normally. I'm tipping it off to the side. I don't like that. So come on up. There we go. Hi, you guys. We've got it all planted up nicely. It's no longer flopping off to the side. It's going to be so much happier up on its little window ledge. It's going to look so much better, and the roots are going to get a lot more, not nutrition, well, that too, but a lot more moisture, because when they were just hanging out in the air, sure, it was in the bathroom and it would soak up some of the humidity. There's nothing like being submersed in some water for a little while, because in nature, they get rained on. So that's more than just some humidity in the air. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please join me on Facebook on the PlantzNThings What's Growing page. Also on the regular PlantzNThings page, not just the What's Growing page. And if you don't do Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Hopefully you do that. Show me some of your plants that you're growing. Tag me in some of the photos so that I'm able to see them. And yeah, until next time, happy growing, everyone. Doesn't look like I have any crown rot or anything at the moment, and like I said, this new leaf is still rather firm, but that new leaf was there when I got it. So I'll keep you updated on this one. I was really excited to get this particular plant, but it seems